been nurtured on this protection, so he went through some withdrawal pains, which he expressed and which we accept but did not necessarily respond to. We don't need to protect you, was the unspoken message. You are fundamentally okay. As the week and months pass, he begins to feel a quiet confidence and affirm himself. He begins to blossom at his own pace and speed. He became outstanding as measured by standard social criteria, academically, socially, and ethic- ethically at a rapid clip far beyond the so-called natural development process. As the year passed, he was elected to several student body leadership position, developed into an all-state athlete, and started bringing home straight A report cards. He developed an engaging and gu- guileless personality that has enabled him to relate in non-threatening ways to all kinds of people. Sandra and I believe that our son's socially impressive accomplishments were more a serendipitous expression of the feeling he had about himself than merely a response to social reward. This was an amazing experience for Sandra and me, a very instructional one is dealing with our other children and in other roles as well. It brought to our awareness on a very personal level the vital difference between the personality ethic and the character ethic of success. The psalmist express our conviction well. Search your own heart with all diligence, for out of it follow the issue of life. Primary and secondary greatness. My secret with my son, my study of perception, and my reading of the success literature coalesce to create one of those aha experience in life when suddenly things click into place. I was suddenly able to see the powerful impact of the personality ethic and to clearly understand those subtle, often subconscious, unidentified discrepancies between what I knew to be true, some things I had been taught many years ago as a child, and things that were deep in my own inner sense of value and quick fix philosophies that surrounded me every day. I understood at a deeper level why, as I had worked through the years with people from all walk of life, I had found that the thing I was teaching and knew to be effective were often at variance with these popular voices. I am not suggesting that elements of the personality ethic, personality growth, communication skills training, and education, the field of influence strategies and positive thinking, are not beneficial. In fact, sometimes essential for success. I believe they are, but these are secondary, not primary traits. Perhaps in utilizing our human capacity to build on the foundation of generation before us, we have inadvertently became so focused on our own building that we have forgotten the foundation that holds it up, or in reaping for so long where we have not sown, perhaps we have forgetting the need to sow. If I try to use human influence strategies and tactics of how to get other people to do what I want, to work better, to be more motivated, to like me and each other, while my character is fundamentally flawed, marked by duplicity and insincerity, then in the long run, I cannot be successful. My duplicity will breed distrust and everything I do, even using so called good human relations techniques, will be perceived as manipulative. It simply makes no difference how good the rhetoric is, or even how good the intentions are, if there is little or not just there is no foundation for permanent success. Only basic goodness gives life to technique. To focus on technique is like cramming your way through school. You sometimes get by, perhaps even get good grades, but if you don't pay the price day in and day out, you never achieve true mastery of the subject you study or develop an educated mind. Did you ever consider how ridiculous it would be to try to cram on a farm, to forget to plant in the spring, play all summer, and then cram in the fall to bring the in the harvest? The farm is a natural system. The price must be paid and the process followed. You always reap what you sow. There is no shortcut. This principle is also true ultimately in human behavior, in human relationships. They too are natural system based on the law of the harvest. In the short run, in an artificial social system such as a school, you may be able to get by if you learn how to manipulate the man-made rules to play the game. In most one-shot or short-lived human interaction, you can use the personality ethic to get by and to make favorable impression through charm and skills and pretending to be interested in other people's hobbies. You can pick up quick easy technique that may work in short term situation, but secondary traits alone have no permanent worth in long term relationship. Eventually, if there isn't deep integrity and fundamental character strength, the challenges of life will cause true motive to surface, and human relationship failure will replace short-term success. Many people with secondary greatness, that is social recognition for their talent, lack primary greatness or goodness in their character. Sooner or later, you'll see this in every long-term relationship they have, whether it is with a business associate, a spouse, a friend, or a teenage child going through an identity crisis. It is a character that communities most eloquently as Emerson once put it, what you are shout so loudly in my ears that I cannot hear what you say. There are, of course, situations where people have character strengths, but they lack communication skills, and that undoubtedly affect the quality of relationship as well. But the effects are still secondary. In the last analysis, what we are communicates far more eloquently than anything we say or do. We all know it. There are people we trust absolutely because we know their characters, whether they are eloquent or not, whether they have the human relation techniques or not. We trust them and we work successfully with them. In the other words of William George Jordan, into the hands of every individual is giving a marvelous power for good or evil, the silent, unconscious, unseen, influence of his life. This is simple, the constant radiation of what man really is, not what he pretends to be. The power of paradigm. The seven habits of highly effective people embody many of the fundamental principles of human effectiveness. These habits are basic, they are primary, they represent the internal, internalization of correct principles upon which enduring happiness and success are based. These habits are basics, they are primary, they represent the internalization of correct principles upon which enduring happiness and success are based. But before we can really understand these seven habits, TM, we need to understand our own paradigm and how to make a paradigm shift, TM. Both the character ethics, the personality ethic are example of social paradigm. The word paradigm comes from the Greek. It was originally a scientific term and is more commonly used today to mean a model, theory, perception, assumption, or frame of reference. In the more general sense, it's the way we see the world, not in terms of our visual sense of sight, but in the terms of perceiving, understanding, and interpreting. For our purpose, a simple way to understand paradigm is to see them as maps. We all knows that the map is not the territory. A map is simple an explanation of certain aspect of the territory. That's exactly what a paradigm is. It's a theory, an explanation, or models something else. Suppose you wanted to arrive a specific location in central Chicago, a street map of the city would be great help to you in reaching your destination. But suppose you were giving the wrong map through a printing error. The map label Chicago was actually a map of Detroit. Can you imagine the frustration, the effectiveness of trying to reach your destination?